What is sim racing? Is it just the driving around in circles, trying to get faster or win races? The short answer, no, it's not. Welcome back to HD Racing, to the yet to be named series where I want to remind you to have some fun with the wonderful hobby that we share. Last time we looked a bit at Forza Horizon 5. This time we are way closer to what most people would probably think of when I say sim racing. But this is still very different. We are in Assetto Corsa, the original one. And I'm gonna show you a couple of things you can do that are not circuit racing. And for this first one, we are in the Toyota Supra Mark IV, and this map or track is called Shutoko Revival Project. It is a mod for Assetto Corsa, so this is not in the original one, but that is the good thing about the original Assetto Corsa. It is so heavily moddable, and it has been modded so much that even though this is a quite old game, it is still very popular. And there are some other reasons for that as well. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But first of all, what are we doing here? So this map, as you can see, is based in Japan, and it's basically just a connection of streets, highways, and because of another mod, we have traffic. And what this is all about is just driving around in a car, like I'm in a street car, a more powerful one, but still. And well, you can just drive around in traffic. And is that sim racing? I think so. I think this qualifies. I'm on my wheel and I have simulated driving here. I know this is not what you typically think of when I say sim racing, but I think it still qualifies. And well, yeah, that's also sim racing, I guess. No one saw that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna reset traffic here because I don't want to deal with a traffic jam. That was definitely not caused by me. So yeah, traffic should be back shortly. Yeah, I think you can see already a little bit there. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we are doing here. So as I said, Assetto Corsa, the original one, still very popular because it is very moddable, and there are some really great mods that make it also look not as dated as it is, because Assetto Corsa is an old game. I think it's more than 10 years. I'm actually not quite sure, but it's definitely a dated game. But with the ability to mod it so heavily, it's still very popular. And another reason is that it is dirt cheap most of the time. So if you're on PC and you don't own Assetto Corsa yet, go check if there is a sale going on, because you could probably get it for like a couple of bucks. And even if it's not, like it's probably max 10. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, there is most of the time it's very cheap to get. And with all the mods that you can get, there is so much you can do apart from just the normal sim racing, so circuit racing, what we normally think of. And I have to say, this is fun, even though I'm probably not very good at it. Whoa, okay, that guy turned into me, okay? That was definitely not my fault. Okay. So, why am I doing this? Why am I showing you something else here? And by the way, I'm gonna show you something, again, different in a little bit. We're gonna take a look at this one, and then I have something else that I want to show you that's also different from our usual stuff. Why am I showing you this? Well, it's, as I said at the beginning, this series of videos that I want to do is to remind you, and also a little bit myself, to have fun with this hobby. And I know from experience, and I think a lot of you also experienced that, competitive racing online can get quite frustrating. And that can be because maybe you don't have a good day and you make a mistake and maybe ruin someone else's race, and that gets frustrating. I know that from experience. But it can also be the opposite way around. Maybe someone else makes some stupid mistake, you get involved in an incident, and your race that you were looking forward to is completely ruined. That also can get very frustrating. And while the hobby itself is really fun, it has the potential to, really get that frustrating. And with this series, I want to show you a couple of things that I think you can still do that are very much related to our racing hobby, that can still be quite fun and that don't have to be stressful at all. And well, I think you can make this even stressful. I've seen some videos online, maybe you also have. I think there are a couple of YouTubers online that do this a lot. As far as I've seen, this is called no Hesi, for no hesitation. I'm hesitating quite a lot here, but there are people that just go through traffic at ludicrous speeds. I can't quite manage that, but yeah, that's what this is about. Just weaving in and out of traffic and yeah, just trying to have some fun here with different cars that you can pick. Assetto Corsa, as I said, a game that already has quite a few different cars, also street cars, not only race cars. And since it's so heavily moddable, basically almost every car that you can think of, there will probably be a mod for it. And if you can find that, then you can just drive your favorite car around, which I think is awesome. So I think we've seen a little bit here. Let's maybe check this map out in a little bit of a different mood, and I'll see you then. Because one of the mods I have installed is called Sol, that's S-O-L, and that gives you day and night cycles. And oh boy, what is that? Is that like the sun in the middle of the city here? That looked kind of weird. That might have been a bug. But yeah, different lighting conditions. So we are now set in the evening, and also you saw I took a different car. This is an Audi R8, so a little bit more horsepower. And we're just gonna see how this goes. Might be even worse than my first experience in the Toyota. But yeah, this is one thing that you can also do. And this mod also has weather effects, which is also quite amazing. You can simulate everything from a light drizzle to like a thunderstorm, and well, have that set for your session or even be dynamic. There's a lot of things that you can do. So talking a little bit about, if you're interested in this kind of thing, what do you need to do? So Assetto Corsa in and of itself is very hard to set up in terms of mods, but there is a good option for you, and that is called Content Manager. I'll link that in the description. You can look that up. It's basically a way for you to both set up all the mods and plugins, but also have a way easier time of setting up races in your favorite cars. Because let's be honest, if you've tried the original interface of the original Assetto Corsa, that's pretty bad, I have to say. And Content Manager really makes things a lot easier. And while it's still sometimes a little bit of a hassle to set up, so for example the traffic mod for this one is not as easy to set up. I'll link a video in the description from another YouTuber who made a very good tutorial on this. And by the way, look at this. This just looks amazing. For a game that's this old, I think that's ridiculous how good this can look. And by the way, this map, as I said, I will link that as well for you in the description. The Shutoko revival project. I think it's an amazing idea to have something very different in the game. And oh boy, I should maybe try to drive a little bit more carefully. But well, there was also very little traffic there. I'm not quite sure if I have set this up completely right. So yeah, at least here we have some traffic. So let's try to do a little bit of weaving here. But okay, this splits already again. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, it's definitely a different thing to do, but it can be very fun. I'm not quite sure if this would be for me like for an extended period of time. I think it's fun for a bit. I can definitely see the appeal. I probably wouldn't be doing this all the time like some people can, but to each his own. And if this is something that interests you, check this out, set this up for yourself. As I said, if you're on PC, and you don't even need a powerful PC for Assetto Corsa, it's very light on resources. And well, just set up this map. I'll link it in the description, and the traffic mod. I also, as I said, linked the video that described it quite well. I was able to set it up myself from that. So, yeah, nothing to see here. But yeah, this is just one of the examples of things that you can do in Assetto Corsa, which aren't your typical circuit racing. And I think we're gonna just take a look at something else now, which I think can also be quite fun. Because another thing that you can do is Togue. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So this is basically the Japanese style driving up or down a hill. I think Togue in Japanese just means mountain pass, if I remember correctly. And well, you can see we are on a different map here, and I did take a little bit of a lower powered car for this one. This is the Abarth 500, and let's just see what this is about. Because differently to what we just checked out, which is driving around a city and just having some fun weaving in traffic, this is more about, well, having a very narrow road to, yeah, go up a mountain in this case. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of ready stages, especially the ones like, is it Monaco, I think? A little bit similar, maybe, but yeah, this is all about just having a little bit of fun on your own this time. I mean, I think you can also set this up in multiplayer. Pretty sure you can. But for me, I'm just driving on my own here and just trying to see what we can do here. The map, by the way, is called Trento Bondone, I think. Once again, pronunciations aside, I'm gonna link where you can download this track in the description. And well, as I said, this is once again something completely different. You can see all the way up there is where we're gonna drive. So all the way up this mountain, which I think is really cool. And it's awesome that the community for Assetto Corsa is, well, so involved in still making amazing content. I mean, probably a lot of the things that I'm showing you here are also a little bit old by now, but a lot of things also still get updates because the community is still there and a lot of people enjoy these kind of things, and I can see why. This is definitely something that can be quite fun, and it's very different to our usual circuit racing that we do. I'm pretty sure also that this can be used very well for drifting. I was thinking about trying that, but then I remembered, well, I don't really have my round wheel set up, and also I don't really know how to drift on a wheel. I have to be honest. I never really tried that. I can drift a little bit in like Forza Horizon with a controller, but as I say, a little bit. I'm not really good at it. I don't really want to embarrass myself here by trying this on a wheel when I've never done that. So maybe that's something I'm gonna learn in the future. Who knows? It's also something that, well, it's gonna be interesting to see. Assetto Corsa, this original one, is quite old. We have ACC for our GT racing, but Assetto Corsa Evo is set to still come out this year. I would expect in a like kind of light format, maybe in early access. I don't expect this to be the full game yet this year, but I'm really curious what it's gonna be about, because if they do what they did with the original Assetto Corsa, then there might be a chance that we see things like I've just shown you, both the no hesitation street racing with traffic and also Togue. So something different from what we usually think of when we say sim racing. We could see something like that as well. And if it's not in the game, I hope, and from what I've heard, there will be the possibility Assetto Corsa Evo will still be moddable. So maybe we'll see some things ported over, or maybe some new things pop up. I'm quite curious what that's gonna be like. We don't really have much information yet on Assetto Corsa Evo, but it's gonna be closer to the original Assetto Corsa because it's not focused on a specific racing series like Assetto Corsa Competizione is. So in that case, I think that's gonna be quite interesting. And well, as I said, I'm quite curious what it's gonna be like, and we might still find out this year, and I'm definitely gonna check it out if I have the chance. So yeah, let me know what your experience is with if you've tried the original Assetto Corsa and what you would like to see in a Assetto Corsa Evo. Yeah, in general, what are your expectations for that, and are you looking forward to it, or are you content with what you're racing right now? Would definitely like to know. But yeah, for this video series, as I said in the beginning, this is all about just showing you different things you can do, and well, different things that I do to just have fun and to do something that is not the usual circuit racing. I think it's something that is very important, at least to me, and maybe also to some of you, because, as I said, sim racing can get so frustrating and stressful, and I've experienced that firsthand. I really was very demotivated at was it like 4 months ago, probably by now, where I had a lot of things on my plate in real life, and going into races online and being frustrated there just led to me not being motivated to race at all. So I put everything down for a couple of months, and I don't want that to happen again. So I've taken this purposeful choice to always remind myself, why am I doing this? And yeah, just to have fun and to enjoy myself, and that the competitive aspect of sim racing is not everything. I'm a quite competitive person, so it's very easy for me to get in that habit. So I've really set myself out a kind of a motto here, and I said that in a previous video, or I think in a post on YouTube in the community tab. For me, this motto, it's all about having fun. That's the main driver behind all of what I'm doing in sim racing, and also with this YouTube channel. So I really hope that translates to you, and I would love to hear from you what you do to just have some fun and unwind in a racing context, but yeah, just something different, because there are a lot of things you can do. There are a lot of racing games that are way less stressful than our usual contenders like ACC, Forza Motorsport, iRacing, what have you. So yeah, I would definitely like to hear from you. What do you think both of this video series that I'm trying out here, and do you agree with me with what I've said about sim racing being frustrating and the conscious choice of trying to have some fun? But yeah, as you can see here, this is also quite fun. Even though this is quite a low power car, you could probably have quite more higher powered one and really send it up this mountain if you're good at it. I'm not, as you can clearly see, but still, this is quite interesting, and it's quite expansive, this map as well. I'm not quite sure, I'm probably not even halfway up, so there's a lot to do. And as I said, drifting here, probably also a great thing to do. But I think that's it, what I wanted to show you for today. So as I said, I hope that this translates well and that you enjoy. Well, I crashed a barrier here. Still, I'm gonna continue up this mountain, gonna have some fun here and just try to see what this is all about, and maybe go back down afterwards. Let's see. But yeah, let me know what are your thoughts. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. I've been HD Racing. See you in the next one.